Well, Ahsoka is over. Andor is delayed, and it looks like the only Star Wars we will be getting next year is the Acolyte and the Skeleton Crew. And while this is a whole lot better than another Star Wars drought, I can't help but feel like Ahsoka left us with a bad taste in our mouths. Not completely awful, but just a lingering flavor that wasn't the grand finale that it should have been. And speaking of finales, I've noticed a disturbing trend that I hope will not continue into the future Lucasfilm releases. The Star Wars finales are too epic. Now, I love a good season finale. Mando Season 1 was great, Mando Season 2 was perfect, and Andor had several perfect finales scattered throughout the season. But other than that, Disney live-action Star Wars has been suffering from Avengers syndrome. Think back to the original Avengers movie. We got an amazingly epic final arc, but each subsequent movie had to out-epic the one which preceded it. If the next movie's ending isn't as epic, it feels less important. Lucasfilm saw the success that they had with Luke's return at the end of Mando Season 1 and took away the wrong message. We loved that episode not because of how epic it was, how intense the action scenes were, or how flashy the visuals turned out, but because of what it meant to us. The emotion behind it made it so much more meaningful. Andor's conclusion had the emotional weight of the entire town fighting the Empire to honor their dead community leader. They were fighting for family. And sure, those fight scenes were epic and the special effects were dope, but the style of this final fight also fits in line with the entire rest of the season. Think about Mando's Season 3 finale. It was all jetpacks and flying and Praetorian Guard and Mando, Moff Gideon, Macho Man, and it was just way too epic compared to the rest of the season. It just didn't fit. The Book of Boba Fett could have landed the same ending as Andor, with the townsfolk coming together to fight off an invading force, but instead we got Boba riding a Rancor versus Mecha Godzilla droidicas and Peli Motto. Obi-Wan Kenobi had the emotional weight of the Anakin Vader and Obi-Wan confrontation, which is honestly one of my favorite scenes of the Disney era. But his T-posing, flinging rocks was just a little over the top and didn't really fit with the rest of the season. And that brings us back to Ahsoka. We got zombie troopers and witch-infused Night Sisters and Sabine using the Force for the first time only to suddenly gain the power to yeet a full-grown man across a huge gap like she'd done it 100 times, and it was just too epic. There were plenty of things that they could have changed and plenty more that they could have added, but ultimately, this once again demonstrates the through line of Disney Star Wars as a whole: missed opportunities.